and welcome back to another wildlife photography editorial with me, Francois Free. I'm going to take you through step by step how I'm going to edit this beautiful cheetah cub photo that I took at Marataba Luxury Lodges in the Waterberg a couple of years ago. Now I love this photo. It's a nice close-up portrait. The composition though is interesting. It's probably not the best composition, but I had to take this photo on the fly. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our crop tool. And I'm actually not going to do too much. I'm just going to squeeze it in a little bit just to bring that head slightly more towards the middle, because we've got some nice open features on the left which we're going to use a little bit later on. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to scroll down towards the detail tab, and I'm going to press option and I'm going to do masking. So everything that is in the black is going to be affected by whatever I do, especially if you want to denoise or play with the colors a little bit. That comes in handy. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to just underexpose slightly and just keep an eye on your histogram there. Remember, your shadows and your blacks are on the left and your highlights and your whites are on the right. So generally you want to have a beautiful curve up and down, generally towards the middle here, but that is just a rule of thumb. Rules are meant to be broken. So let's have a look. I'm going to bring the highlights down now a little bit and then bring the shadows up. And now I'm going to clip the whites. Press the option key, take the whites up until you see it pop up, and then just bring it down until that's maybe a little bit too much actually. Let me bring that down a bit. That's a little bit better. And the blacks are already there, but let's just press Y, and you can already see there is quite a significant change. I love the tone of the photo, so I'm not going to change anything of the tone. It's got kind of like that bluish hue in the background with the tawny color of the cheetah, so I'm not going to change too much now. Next, I'm going to go to the contrast. I'm not going to fiddle with the slider. I'm going to go straight to the tone curve, and I'm going to go to the point curve and just go medium contrast. That just makes it a little bit easier with AI. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to use my masking tools. I'm going to grab a radial gradient, and I'm going to make it a horizontal radial gradient, which I'm going to invert, which is going to create a subtle vignette. So just a little bit of underexposure and you'll see that vignette, and it's also making those colors in the background pop. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to create another radial gradient and make it very circular right over the head of this cheetah cub. I'm going to go down towards my texture. I'm going to take that up to 10. Take the clarity up to 10, and I'm going to take my sharpness to about 20 or so, and that gives it a nice pop. So let's just have a look there. Look at that. That is already quite a significant change, and quite nice actually. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to focus on the eyes. Now with cheetah, what I love about cheetah and the eyes is they've got this amber color. Very unique to cheetahs is that amber iris that they've got. So I'm going to enhance that a little bit, just a touch, not too much, because you don't want to make it look unnatural. Sometimes you get these photos where the eyes just pop out and it just doesn't look very natural. And then I'm going to do another brush mask just on that catch light. It's funny, if you look closely in that catch light, you can actually see the vehicle. That's how close this cheetah was. And I'm just going to enhance that a little bit, and then I'm going to bring it back. Now you can see, yeah, catch light nice, eyes nice. It's not too much. Maybe those irises a little bit too much, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to play with my linear gradients. Okay, so as you might know, there's an effect called a pancake effect, which is when you take linear gradients from the top and you make it a little bit darker, and you take another linear gradient. You can actually press the shift key and it keeps it quite stable horizontally, and then a little bit like that. But you need to be careful so you don't create like visible dark lines that's creating that pancake effect. So just be careful with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create another linear gradient further in here, like that, and make it slightly darker, because the reason I'm doing this is, firstly, with that linear gradient, you're going to go to that little minus key, and you're going to take the brush and you're actually going to subtract the linear gradient on your subject. So you keep the main linear gradient, but you just remove the section that's on the subject because you don't want to have that too much. Now the reason why I'm darkening that side is you can see that from the right there's a natural light that comes in. So what you can do, you have to be careful with this because it might look very unnatural very quickly, is you take another radial gradient and you can actually pull these gradients out of the photo. It doesn't have to be in the photo, so you just have like a partial radial gradient in there, and then you can like just lift the temperature slightly, lift the exposure a little bit, and it creates almost like that effect of the light coming from the side. So if you look at that very carefully, you can see there's like a natural light coming from the side that was there, but now we've just enhanced it. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I am going to just take my brush and I'm just going to enhance some of the highlights and the whites on the face, especially around the whiskers and the chin, and even just below the eye, just that little eye line there, the reflective line. And then I'm going to press Y and we're going to have a look and see what it looks like. And there you go. There's the edit. It's quite unique, it's quite different. There was some kind of very cold tones to it and kind of enhanced that a little bit. There's maybe a little bit of an effect on the side of the cheetah there, but I think it actually turned out quite nicely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I see you out in the field.